So, I've talked a bit about having physical copies of movies and TV shows. It's important because that stuff is disappearing slowly, but music is one area people aren't talking about. Now, we've talked about disc rot on DVDs and why that's a harder medium to keep because it will go bad eventually, and Blu ray is a better option. But when it comes to music, CDs are absolutely fine. They have a very long shelf life. I think the shelf life on CDs is longer than DVDs. Obviously, you need to take care of those, but um, you should be talking to your kids about having physical media as well because kids are getting so accustomed to having streaming music that they don't realize there's a reality where music can start being pulled from catalogs. As current, that's not happening, but it can happen. In addition to that, buying the CDs, if you can, is something that will ensure that you always have that media because once you have the CD, they can't take it away from you. For those that don't know, this goes for other media as well. As long as you physically own a copy, you are allowed to rip that copy and have a digital version for use and carry around. This came about early on, I think about the time of iTunes, when they started letting you have digital copies in your music library to put on your iPod. We can thank Apple for one thing they did right, which is allowing you to have a digital copy to incentivize you to buy CDs and use their iPods at the time. So I keep a digital music library because I'm worried that I'm not going to have cell signal to get some of that music, or it's going to get pulled, or I'm not going to have access. Almost every service now has a paid tier that's ad free, where if I have a digital music library, it's ad free. And MP3 players these days are quite vast in their storage. A high quality MP3 file is fairly small. And I know there's other formats, but I'm a diehard. I love the MP3 format. The music sounds fine to me and it works well. But you should be incentivizing your kids to have a digital copy of media that's theirs and have physical copies if possible. I know DVD, Blu-ray, and CD collections take up space. I get it. And we all got sold on that. But we're reaching a reality here where they're going to start curtailing what you can hear, where they're going to be limiting access to that content. And we see that now. Amazon offers some free music if you have that service, but a lot of it is behind a paywall. Spotify, I really don't care for Spotify. They have a lot of free content, but a lot of it is paid or you have to have an account. And I just don't want to be marketed to also. And what stops them from pulling that content? So please make sure to be talking about physical media and the importance thereof. CDs are a really great platform. You can rip them fairly easy for digital and have them as a backup. And again, you can look into this, but you are covered under, I don't think it's fair use, but there is a provision in the law that states as long as you have the physical copy, you can have one digital backup. So if you're going to have DVDs and Blu-rays, you should be able to rip those into a format that you can have on a server. And if it comes to a legality issue, you can say, no, this is the digital version of that physical copy. You're technically not distributing it, you're not sharing it, and you're not putting it out there. So technically, that's something you can do. As far as the high seas go, don't quote me on this. I would have to get more information on it. But I do believe that if you download a file and you have a physical copy, you can technically fight that and say, no, I was downloading a backup because I did not have the means to make a physical rip of my disc. I think you're covered there. Do not quote me on that, but I believe that's where it's at. I'd have to look into more to it. And I am going to look into it because if I can download, that's going to be faster than me trying to rip it. And I can guarantee the quality is going to be good. So, but just for that information there, just please keep that in mind. And again, if you can, please visit thrift shops that you trust or find a local person that you can buy from and buy your media used. Stop feeding into the greed of these companies and buy your media used if you can before you start buying new. There is a lot of media out there that is just wasting away because people have gotten rid of it. A lot of the CDs I've got that I resell and I keep for my private collection, I have got for a ridiculously good price from a person selling it used because they didn't want it anymore, and I'll take it because I am tired of not being able to find media that I want.